Of all the wonderful miracles that God has done that I have personally witnessed, I would honestly say that the greatest for me is God healing me of rejection. I wasn't aware that I suffered from this until it began to play out in marriage. I began to feel a huge sense of rejection, and a lot of times I would wish that my father were alive. A lot of times I would just wish I could just pick up my suitcase and run to him and cry on the shoulder of my dad and tell him what I'm going through and ask for his advice. I can't count the number of times all through my life, especially growing up as a young girl, I needed the advice of my dad, but he wasn't there because he passed away when I was 9. While in school, primary, secondary school, when I would see other kids running to their dad or dad coming for meetings in school, and I would so wish that I had a dad. But I didn't know the impact of it, of the absence of a dad until marriage, when I would go through some stuff and I really so badly wanted my father. Then I remember one night, I will not forget this, just a couple of years ago, I was just crying that night, crying like an orphan. And I was surprised that even at the age of 47 years old, I was still crying for my dad. Some of you that have your dad still alive and your dad is committed to you, you will never understand this. But that night, I found myself weeping and sobbing so much. And as I was weeping, I was crying, Dad, Dad, Dad. And wondering, why did he have to die so early? I really wanted that night to just pick my suitcase and run. I wanted to tell my dad what I was going through. And as I was crying that night, I would never forget this. And I want to be very truthful before you. As I cried that night, I was alone in that room as I was crying. There was nobody there. But as I cried, I began to see paper, like, someone shaking paper, document in front of me. And what I heard was, why are you crying like an orphan? This is proof that I have adopted you. God is the father to the fatherless. I am your father. Never you cry like an orphan. I heard those words that night. I was alone that night. That was the last I ever sobbed like an orphan. When I had that vision and I paused while I was crying on the bed, I was forced to be quiet, to think about what God said, that he is the father to the fatherless, and I should never cry again like an orphan, that he has me, that I've got him. So what I did that night, even though many years, those of you that know me, I have preached about God being a father, but I never really practiced it when it came to emotional pain. So that night, I took God as my father meeting my emotional pain. And so I told him what I was going through. And ever since then, when I felt pushed to the wall, I run to my father. He is not my father in heaven. He is my father. Full stop. He is right here with me. Why am I sharing this? For those of you that may feel like me, those of you that may need somebody, a human being cannot meet all your needs. You may be a preacher like me, and you may have preached about God being a father, but never really taken him as the dad that meets our emotional needs. You have a father that can meet your emotional need, and if you just need to just get away, just run to him. I tell you, it feels real. Take God as your dad from tonight. You can call on him. You can just talk to him. He is the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, and he cares for you. He loves you. He knows you. even knows the number of hair on your head. Do you know how many hairs you've got? You don't know, but he knows. That's how much he cares for you, and I mean it. God bless you. So don't cry like an orphan because you've got him as your daddy. Bye.